Virginia, what the heck? It's too hot. Hey everyone, welcome to Ember Blake Writes. I'm Ember Blake and I make videos about writing and my journey towards becoming a published author. Today I'm finally taking on the Keep or Give Up challenge. I was tagged well over a month ago by April K, and now I'm finally getting around to making this video. This tag was originally done by the Brook, so you'll be able to find her original video down in the description. I'm actually really excited about this video today. I am gonna have a little bit of a kind of weird twist. When I was originally tagged, I was like, I'm going to do a 16 necessary thing round robin and eliminate them NBA March Madness style. So shortly after being tagged, I actually wrote down all 16 of my necessary things. However, as I was preparing to actually make this video, I cut them all up and I was surprised to find that a lot of them I'm not sure if they are necessary or not. For the most part, I'm pretty like fluid when it comes to my writing. I think frankly depends entirely on inspiration in order for me to, like, if I really need to get words in, inspiration goes a long way towards making sure I actually get those words in. But I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. A, that's not a tangible thing, and B, that's not a thing that I can like conjure out of thin air. So I'm gonna stick with my original 16, and I'm actually interested to see which is going to be my #1 pick. Let's get started. I got my handmade mug. I got this in Blacksburg when I was in college, and now I feel old. So the first two things I'm putting against each other are video game soundtracks, which I listen to when I write, and greenery, meaning nice green surroundings. This one's actually pretty easy. Between the two, I would definitely pick the soundtracks by any stretch of the imagination. I do think it is really nice to have greenery when I'm trying to write, and actually in my writing station at home, I do have some greenery right here. Let me show you. Oh wow, so beautiful, so nice. And while greenery is nice, it is not necessary. In fact, one of my favorite places to write are places like libraries. So greenery, you're out. The next, oh shoot, this one's gonna be really, really hard. The next two that I am trying to pit against each other are Courier Knew, the font, and A Quiet Space Away from Home. I was hoping these two would kind of come together later on down the road, but I guess that's, I think, a pretty common thing for this challenge is for two things that are really important to come up head to head right at the start. So Courier Knew is my favorite font to write in because it is reminiscent of a typewriter, and I did have a typewriter at one point, but I had to get rid of it. First of all, because the thing weighed like 30 pounds and I kept having to move, and that was just becoming an issue. Secondly, I didn't really use it very often because I hated having to retype up everything after I'd already spent the time writing it. I do really enjoy the Courier Knew font. However, I'm gonna have to give this one to A Quiet Space Away from Home. I am a weird person. I find I work best when I'm away from home. When I was in college, if I had to get a paper done or I had to do homework or something and I was trying to get it done and I was having a hard time focusing, I had to get out of the house. When I'm at home, my brain is at rest. So if I need to do some work, I need to get out of the home. So Courier Knew, as much as I love you, you're out. All right, this next, all right, here we go again. The next two are a basic outline and the first 100 words. So this is kind of a weird one. Obviously an outline is really good. And obviously if I'm going to do any writing done, I'm going to hit those first 100 words. However, I do think the first 100 words are paramount towards writing a scene. Once you can get past that first 100 words, you generally have a good sense of where the scene is going, what the characters need out of this scene, and like the general tone of the scene. getting those first 100 words is really, really hard. So let's say I was given a prompt, and the prompt, this is actually pretty good for this one, but let's say I was given a prompt and I was either given a basic outline of a story or the first 100 words of a story, and I was told to go. Oh my gosh, this is really, really hard. I just made a prompt for myself, and now I'm like, I don't know which one would actually inspire me more. I think they would actually inspire me in equal amount. Like if I'm just thinking about a story and how it goes, I do honestly think I do need an outline in general. But what we're talking about right now is just what's going to get me to write. And the first 100 words are going to get me to write more than just a basic outline. This one surprised me. Bye-bye, outline. All right, so this one is phone or Discord channel. So my phone obviously is really useful. It's not necessary, but mostly when I'm writing I use my phone as like a to play music and stuff. But my Discord channel that I'm talking about is one that I set up because in my first Camp NaNoWriMo this April, I was seeking additional people outside of my cabin to kind of help me work through some things and to just make more writer friends. This channel has grown immensely, and the people that are in it are like amazing, and they're very talented, and they are an inspiration constantly. So in this case, this one's pretty easy. I'm keeping the Discord channel. Oh, this one's gonna be really hard. I have my mom versus Chloe. I couldn't script this better if I had tried. Most people that are familiar to my channel know Chloe, and here's her cue to jump in. Hi, Mom! She's my writing buddy. She just curls up on this little bed and looks cute and cheers me silently. And she also demands belly rubs because she's a princess. Chloe is wonderful. She is the greatest dog I've ever had. She's very sweet, and I really just I know it doesn't make any sense, but I feel like she validates me as a writer. I know, it's weird. On the other hand, my mom is actually a great soundboard for when I have problems in my novel. And frequently if I'm stuck or something, I will give her a call, and she usually has really interesting ideas and ideas that are inspiring and often take me in a completely different direction that I would not actually go on. Now, if I had to choose between the two, it's oh man. I'm going to stick to the thought that I am never going to see the other person, but I'm going to keep this within the context of writing. And as much as Chloe is an amazing mascot and adorable, and I would never ever ever give her up for the entire world, I think when it comes to my writing, my mom is a little bit more helpful in the practical sense. So Chloe, I'm not going to rip you up, but you're out. Oh, this is once again an interesting pairing. The first prompt is a good keyboard / computer, and the second one is Scrivener. I use Scrivener for my novels, and the final draft of the novels is usually in Scrivener. However, I have used Microsoft Word, I've used a whole bunch of other stuff, and when it comes to just writing, sometimes Scrivener can be a little bit intimidating if I want to just get up something and go. On the other hand, a good keyboard, if you try writing on a bad keyboard, no. And as I mentioned with the typewriter, I really do need to have something digital. So even though I can technically write things by hand, I really do not prefer it. So I think in this case, I'm gonna go with a good keyboard. Okay, so this one is actually pretty interesting. We have natural light versus a big monitor. Oh. Kind of like the Scrivener versus good keyboard debate. Trying to write with a small crappy monitor is not great, and also writing in like someplace where there's no natural light is also not great. However, I think the big deciding factor for me is that we're gonna take this in the context of just getting words down. So we're not editing, we're not revising, we're not moving things around, we're not copy pasting, we're just getting the words. And also it comes down to something I just recently picked up, which is this Alpha Smart Neo 2. This, I'm not gonna make a video on this because there are literally hundreds of excellent videos. I will link the video that the Story Detective did down below on this, but this thing is incredible. And obviously, as you can see, tiny screen. But this device is great for distraction-free writing. It edges out big monitor in favor of natural light. So natural light wins this one and big monitor is out. All right, we are on our last two of round one. And since I've kind of explained some things about why I've chosen each of these things, I'm going to, for the last few rounds, do a rapid fire. All right, for my last one, it's amazing how this worked out. It's my food or beverage. For my food, I have dark chocolate, probably my favorite brain food. It's pretty much a perfect brain food. It's got caffeine to keep you kind of awake. It's got healthy fats to keep you, you know, your blood sugar level. And then, you know, it's also ridiculously delicious. And then I also have green tea / beverage. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of beverages in general. I'm basically like a tropical plant. So in this case, I think green tea / beverage wins, just because I get thirsty really fast if I don't have something to drink, and that's something that's going to distract me. Whereas with dark chocolate, I love you, but you're not necessary. Beverage is. Round two, rapid fire. Natural light versus a quiet space from home. Quiet space from home wins hands down. My mom or green tea in a beverage. Green tea wins hands down again. As much as, but I do love you, Mom. Discord channel versus video game soundtracks. As much as I love the people on my Discord channel, I do not need them to write. Music, really, I do need to write to block out all the sounds and distractions around me, so video game soundtracks does edge out the Discord channel. First 100 words or good keyboard? I'm gonna have to say good keyboard on this one. Obviously, I will get the first 100 words no matter what, but I think in this context, since this is kind of a weird one anyway, we're just gonna stick with the good keyboard. And that's the end of round two. Like I said, rapid fire. All right, so for the last 2 rounds, where we're gonna narrow it down to 2, and then we're gonna narrow it down to the final one thing, we're gonna get some epic music. Round 3, here we go. Video game soundtracks or a quiet space away from home. I'm gonna say video game soundtracks. I really do need music. Green tea beverage or a good keyboard? Gotta go with the beverage. All right, this is the last round. All right, I don't know why I bothered mixing it. I know what the last 2 choices are. All right, the final choices we have are video game soundtracks and green tea or a beverage. At this point, I'm kind of glad for the difficult weeding out process because this one is actually relatively easy. I need music. Music helps set the mood. Music drowns out all of the distractions, and music also just kind of sets me into a state now. Now that I write so much with music, it sets me in the writing state to be listening to music. I guess that's that. My favorite and most necessary thing, video game music soundtracks. Now which ones? I guess we'll do this as a little extra bonus one. My favorite soundtracks, it depends on the book. So for Burning at Both Ends, I listened to the soundtrack for Journey, which was the video game, not the band. And then I also listened to various soundtracks by Darren Korb, who created the soundtrack for Bastion and Pyre, among other games, and just has a really interesting music style that fits, I think, a lot of different fantasy genres. For my romance novel, I actually write to the Minecraft soundtrack because it is very, very soothing, atmospheric, and just so calming. So there you have it. That's the Keep or Give Up challenge. And thanks again for the tag, April. I did want to take a minute to mention 2 other channels that have been just wonderful and have actually tagged me for the AuthorTube Pay It Forward tag. Just so you know, I will not be making that tag because everybody else is making it, and frankly, you know, as much as everybody needs a little bit of kudos, it would be really hard for me to pick like favorite channels. So I'm going to instead just thank the people that tagged me in the Pay It Forward challenge, and just say that they're amazing people and you should check them out. The people that tagged me were Sarah at I Got a Blank Page and Audrey over at Audrey Henley. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate the tag, and I guess I will see you all in the next one. Bye.